Hello, good morning and a very warm welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning, on this wet morning, is Bandula Jayasekara, the former diplomat and senior journalist. Morning, Bandula.
Morning, Faras.
And how are you today?
Good.
And we are also joined by Mr. Gamini Javikram Pereira, the Minister in charge of Wildlife and Sustainable Development.
Yes.
Very good morning, Minister.
Morning.
Thank you for being on our show. And we are also honoured by the presence of Mr. Rosary Pilot Tenakon, our senior banker and trade unionist. Good morning, Rosary.
Good morning, Faras.
Great to have you on the show. And of course, on a very sad note, where we've been greeted with the very sad news, the passing of the Venerable Sobita Thero. A great loss, because he has had spent a lifetime in the pursuance of better governance. And this latest change, most people credit with him being the catalyst for that change. How true is that, Mr. Spala? What is the Venerable Sobita Thero's contribution to change?
Yes, I think in the annals of the history of this country, on this day of national mourning, I should say that his was the greatest contribution in the recent history of this country to bring about a transformation which the people of the country wanted. More than anybody, more than the advocators, he only gave leadership to the people's thinking to bring about a transformation that was very much needed by the people of the country. Not only the people of this country, even internationally, people were looking up to certain changes that were warranted in this country in the way that we were going forward. So he was the leading catalyst, I should say, and the leader in that movement.
Rusiri, are you heading the Dayaka Sabha of the Nagavihara? Are you a member of the Dayaka Sabha?
Well, I have been associated with the Venerable Priest in a number of ways in his activities. I am not a member of the Dayaka Sabha, but I am a very well-wisher and a frequent visitor, and I have had the fortune of being with the Venerable Priest on many occasions of controversies as well as under normal circumstances.
Minister, what is your take on how important a contribution did the Venerable Sobita Thero make?
Well, I must say that the Venerable Sobita Thero is the pioneer, which as Mr. Tenakon said, after the independence, a figure that stood alone, fought alone, like a dictatorship, and corruption various sectors. The Venerable Thero managed to bring everyone together, one voice alone, and bring independent groups and political formation of various parties to get that system and bring democracy again, vibrant democracy. So, Sobita Thero, Venerable Sobita Thero, greatest priest that I admired. When I took over after January 8th, the new government, I was appointed as the Food Sustainable Minister for Cooperatives and Development. First thing I did was to pay a visit to Venerable Sobita Thero's Koti Nagavihara. I worship and I said, your country, what you started. Don't allow corruption, push correct path to continue. No, then the Theros told me, no, I think I have done my, no, I said no, Thero. The civil rights movement said everyone. Push it us, you have to push us. We'll be day to day busy with our work. We don't know what is behind happening. So that's a great Thero. We lost the country.
Faras, now I see the independent. When was the person named as the person of the year?
The Ceylon Independent named Venerable Sobita Thero the person of the year way back in May of 2015.
And also it's very interesting, the Ceylon today says the battle ends. That is the headline. So what I want to ask the minister is, has the battle ended?
No. This is, I think, another turning point. You see now, Venerable Thero, what he was brought to Sri Lanka yesterday. Today it will be very crucial, though I am here, really crucial to the country. Everyone is watching. So it's a turning point of where we don't know what has happened to the allegation. Not one inquiry I'm talking. I'm talking of various allegations that we put forward to the people.
So you're saying today is going to be a crucial cabinet?
Maybe. I don't know.
Would you know, I want to say this. The Venerable Sobhita has dedicated the best part of his life to the achievement of better governance. And in May, we called him the Person of the Year because it was very clear that nobody would be able to eclipse him from this position. But do you think that what would be the greatest legacy that we can honor this very revered monk?
Well, I think this is what we saw for us in the last few months, I should say, or in this year, current year, is a culmination of a series of activities that the Venerable Thero gave life to in his entire lifespan. This is not something new or something foreign in his career. I should say, as a devoted, relentless working Buddhist priest, doing the religious as well as the social activities from the young days, from his university days. If you see the history, trace the history, the Venerable Thero owes to be credited for the engagements that he has had in the social activities, starting from the university days. So many organizations, if we go to name them, I think there will be half a dozen important national organizations headed by this Venerable priest, along with others of important places in the society, political leaders, known figures, everybody. So this was what we saw, was the final episode, what we saw, which we can never forget, no person in this country can ever forget, is the final culmination of the Thero's activities.
Mr. Jayavikrampata, you are also the chairman of the United National Party.
Former chairman.
Yeah, former chairman, that's what I said. Now, don't you agree, and I'm sure Rusiri, I would want you to join me, don't you agree that the Thero died very as an unhappy person? Because what he started, he gave the leadership, he couldn't achieve it.
Maybe, but I'm so glad you're saying this, because I also felt last night, and I discussed this with a very close friend of mine, and I said, I wonder, name withheld, don't you think that the Reverend died rather unhappily? Because, you know, all his efforts, it appears that the politicians have only paid lip service.
Well,
and he spent a whole lifetime in this.
Yeah, no one likes to die. That's a human being. But the great Thera had his policies straight. Whatever the Thera has to say, says to the face also. The Thera wanted, preached and implemented a force, he created a force within the democratic society and brought the democracy.
But he did. His efforts transcended political ideology.
Yeah.
What he wanted was for better governance, for a better quality of life for the people. What he was saying inter alia was that he wanted a situation where noblesse oblige, where the nobility obliged. And it appears to me that the politicians took advantage of his efforts, made the necessary regime change. We must bear in mind that when there was a real fear psychosis, nobody was willing to come forward. But the Reverend offered himself up as the common candidate in case nobody else was able to come forward. Now, having achieved that change, these people, these politicians in
Let him down.
have let him down big time.
Well, in a way, correct. That's why ultimately the President Maitripala Sirisena, as a candidate, were formidable with Reverend Thera's chairing, without no one knowing, all discussed the parties as a choice selection. If he didn't come, then maybe sometimes Thera may have come, who is backed by all the parties too. So now you are asking me a question, very
A very important question for the
question
people.
you are asking, but well, I must say there are two sides. I think he gave the power here some message, again recharging the force of the people, the parties, implement the vision of the Thera. Today, I think it will be crucial in the cabinet.
How best can the politicians, these 224, well, we shall include the speakers, so 225, how best can these 225
sure
people honor Reverend Sobita Thera?
No, I'll tell you, there are questions that have come up. Delays of these inquiries on the legal side of the Thera. Where is corruption talks going? One I know officer will say, inquiring officer told a person who was summoned for the statement today, I am paid 35,000 rupees. My salary is this. So that person felt that ask him something like that. So there are various things here. You can't just blame the politician also. What was given to them, maybe some of the statements were made by some ministers, maybe. But we have to go to the depth of this now. I am telling you. We have to maybe get some independent inquiry, investigation officers from foreign countries even. So we have to go to the depth, get rid of corruption. And for it. You see, the group meeting we had last Friday, suddenly the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, after the cabinet, the Wednesday, Thursday, we were summoned. Then it was an open debate, dialogue, discussion.
Heated arguments.
Yeah, all you see there, Rajit Senatha was there, then Champika was there, honorable ministers. First we discussed our common programs, National Party. In this also, after that it was taken by Honorable Arjun Ranatunga on this corruption scandal. Then I got up and said, second I was to speak on the party. I said, my career, being a politician, I don't want to go with a bad reputation. I want to be this, I said, great statement our Prime Minister made at the Parliament. That was a statement, vision into reality, and to implement this country where power to get rid of, corruption to get rid of, prosperity to come up, brotherhood among the Sri Lanka as Sri Lanka citizens. This greatest statement that I have seen since 77. So I said, you are honest politician, leader. And my Honorable Prime President, Maitripala Singh, I watched, studied. I say, you too are honest, I know. So we have to go to the depth of every corruption.
We woke up to some news saying that the Prime Minister would ask Mr. Marapanan to resign, or to what have you got to say?
No, I'm not very inquisitive to go and ask anyone. Even
you are not in the kitchen cabinet.
I'll tell you, I'm very frank. Even when I was January 8th, where Maitripala Singh took oaths as President of this country, I didn't go behind. My people, we are not going to meet the Prime Minister.
As a former UNP chairman, you can give us an exclusive story today.
No.
For us?
I'm so sorry to say, as former chairman, I never went to the press.
Can I ask you this question? As the former chairman, can you tell me, were you merely a rubber stamp?
Me? No. Behind the scene, I was not a rubber stamp. Front, yes, a rubber stamp.
Yes,
you wanted, the media wants various gossip and various things to turn and manipulate and twist it. So
we don't manipulate like the politicians.
My vision was not to become a rubber stamp within the party circle as chairman. I expressed, like cabinet, we have to take everyone the responsibility. Within the party, chairman, secretary general, everyone, I expressed my opinions. I didn't safeguard the leader when he was attacked by within our own circle. I am the one who spoke in the sessions everywhere. I defended, I explained. Now it had become a reality. I resigned because I would want to bring unity. The unity came within the party and we came to power. So I am telling you, here we are for the justice.
Minister, can
Yes.
I come back to you?
Yeah.
Because there is a small matter of taking a commercial break.
Yeah.
Do stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Newsline, where today we mourn the loss of this legendary leader of good governance, the Venerable Sobita Thera. Mr. Rusripada, actually, I'll come back to you. A thought has just occurred to me, seeing that I've got the former chairman of the UNP seated next to me. I want to ask you this. Why were you unable to appoint a fit and proper leader of the party? A person who would be able to enjoy the confidence of the UNP voters?
Well, I think, you see, the correct person is appointed as a chairman, with a background of experience. If he was the former ex-chairman at that time, then after that resigned.
No, I'm saying when you were the chairman of the party,
yes.
why weren't you not able to appoint a fit and proper person to be the leader of the UNP?
No, I'm not the leader of the party.
No, that's right. Why couldn't you appoint somebody like that?
Kabir Hashim was appointed.
But when you were the chairman?
Yes.
Yes. Who was the leader of the UNP then?
The Rani Vikramasinghe.
And he still is?
Yes.
And you've still been unable to win a majority of the vote?
No, I don't think. You have to understand, if we went as alone with the majority of our own members were taken, billions of taken to their, to 5, 6 of the government at that time, our members were taken, so we became a majority, not a minority party in the opposition. So with that,
but
that
now,
we had to now.
I'm saying now, you see, even now, the
For us, very interesting. Sorry, he says that they were paid billions to be taken.
That's
so
right.
It's a very important statement.
That's an open fact, open known thing.
Yeah.
So they crossed over. You see, so
Were
at that time,
were they taxed?
At what rate of tax?
Yeah,
I don't know.
40%.
That also has to be investigated.
So that's what I say.
But this whole
you
country...
can any ones where we have to declare assets. No, I have declared my assets. With the election also,
But you've declared Mr. Pereira, you've declared your assets. So thank you for that.
Yes.
However, as a member of the public, I can go and pay some money. I think it's 500 or 600 rupees. I can read it, and I can forget all about it. I can't write about it as a journalist. Why not?
You can write.
No, I can't.
No.
It's if you check the
No,
rules.
you are entitled. You have the right.
No, I have to defer because I will have to beg to differ here. The members' interest, each file is available on payment of a fee for your inspection. You may not make a copy, you may not distribute that, you may not write about it. It is for your personal consumption. And that to me sucks. That's not good governance. What's the point? Why is the speaker so short of reading material that he has only...
And when
we have submitted to the election commission.
Right, freedom of information.
The election commission we have.
But why isn't the media able
if
to...
you want, you can. I'll give you.
Right to information.
Yeah, right of information. You know, bill is coming. Right of information. Bill is
I
coming.
would like, in particular, in the current scenario, I would love to get the declarations of a couple of ministers at least.
I must say, Para, you see, today we are getting all the independent commissions now. President has signed also. Right of information. Wait.
Yes.
Right of information. Every citizen has right. Well, we are going to get that. Democracy, power to you. As a journalist, has the more power than the politician. You can manipulate. You can turn a country. You can set fire. You see, so...
We don't manipulate,
No, we don't
set fire.
No, we don't set fire. We have been attacked.
You
we
have
been Claymore bombed.
I know, you are. That's right.
We have been Claymore bombed.
You know, Claymore bombs are worse than the city fire.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You have the power.
We had one in our premises.
Yeah, I know.
See, we were the opposition then, we are the
opposition now.
I visited also to your set when it was set fire, burned. At that time I be from the parliament.
I believe that the greatest legacy, the greatest honor we can pay the Venerable Sobi Fatero is that we need to ensure that we take steps that the Reverend will lie peacefully. Instead of, even in death, we don't want to give him too much of a conundrum.
Correct.
And also for us...
but I'm telling for us, the Reverend Theras don't think that we are, the society, the country is, the democracy and all within this, the governance, good governance and the ruling of the opposition is going to end. No. I'm telling you.
But we forget
this gave
very
a message.
fast in this
With the death also,
What do you think,
a
Mr.
message is
Rusipala?
you today.
What will our dear, much revered Reverend Sobita Ther say about, let's say, about avant-garde and about all these things, the highway robbery, the central bank issue. These things appear to be carrying on regardless, and he made the change.
Well, what I can say about this is this. Now, it all depends how we look at the Venerable Thero's role in this scenario that we surpassed a little a while ago, I mean, in the history of this country. We did not, if anybody expected something like a Grand Prix with a grand finale for some to see a ultimate success, well, you may say, yes, everything has failed and nothing has happened. But these movements are not like that, in my own opinion. They are continuously, perpetually, they are moving ahead. Over generations, they may have to go. So he has taken the stage to some level from where we, all of us, will have to take it forward.
We may not, live to see that day.
Of course, it may be. It has taken generations for the world to move up to this stage.
But today the younger generation, they don't have patience. If you see the social media, they're at it. They want this change.
No, even the younger generation, I think, with great respect to the Thero, Venerable Thero, I should say, he had a moment with him. In addition to this movement for the just society, he had the Amadhyapa movement, the temperance movement, where a large number of youth in this country were associated in his activities. So he was in all walks of life. He was a figure unmatched in the current situation.
And it appears to me that he was not afraid of using his influence or his authority, that he used it to the maximum.
And for us, taking from there, Rusi, I also want to add to that. Now, what the Sri Lankan says, that he fought against the racial divide, and he's one Buddhist priest who stood up against BBS. What have you got to say to that?
Indeed.
Of course.
Without fear.
Of course. Not only that, some useless, unwanted, not recognized, some movements and some things that try to emanate in the society as bad forms. He vehemently stood against those. And he was one priest who was ready to say that what was terrorism was terrorism. He called it very straightforwardly, he said that.
And extremism.
Yeah.
Also.
What is bad was bad for him.
It appears to me that he was this lone swimmer who was swimming against the tide. Because he in the face of unparalleled, untrammeled power that the Rajapaksa administration enjoyed. And here was one man who decided to take it on.
Naturally, he can be considered or looked up to as a person who was trying to swim against a tide or a wave. But the fact is that people like the personalities like Venerable Sobita Thero were people in society who at times of need give leadership to the society. That was what was important.
And today's this famous, what you are planning, the cabinet meeting, you think they will only mourn the death of Reverend Thero, or you will discuss this corruption issue? What will be the
First
agenda?
thing is to pay our respect to silence, pay the respect to the great Thero. That's even at the cabinet meeting, at the cabinet, first thing when the president comes, he worships. We all stand and go to their own religion, they do it also. That's okay, that is how we. So second item of the agenda today, we are paying the respect to the greatest Thero of our living life.
Third will be fireworks.
Third will be fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, that is the best way to honor him.
That is where the fireworks started by the greatest Thero.
I want to quickly ask Mr. Rusipala this question because we're running out of time. Mr. Rusipala, quickly back to the central bank bond issue. As far as you know, and from the sources that you have and we all have, can you tell me, when the Bank of Ceylon approved the facility for the son-in-law's company to be able to bid Are you aware whether the board of the Bank of Ceylon approved that?
Well, besides the fact that the board of the Bank of Ceylon, whether they had a hand in it or not, it was something very, very bad that happened in that scenario. Unprecedented in the bank's history. Providing funds for a private company to bid for something which they did not have the capacity. We did not have the sufficient assets, and to back it up with a bank loan from a government state-owned bank was a very bad thing. I do not know about the involvement of the board or the knowledge of the board or the chairman or whoever.
But very suspiciously, the general manager was sort of suspended for a bit.
Of course, he became the scapegoat, I believe.
Yes.
And he was very innocent and proved so, and he is back in the seat. We are very happy.
Well, we're very happy that he's back in the seat, of course, you know. But it is disgraceful that it appears that they treat this as their own family business, a little corner shop, little grocery store.
I should say, with respect to the Venerable Thero, the Venerable Thero also in the latter stages, although the movement was alive and kicking and was to be pursued even for the future, there was a lot of dissatisfaction.
He was very sad
about such issues, such matters, such gross violations happening in the country. That much I know as a fact.
And I'm sure, as the former chairman of the UNP and a senior member of the UNP, you could add to that.
Would you agree then? Because we've got like 2 minutes more. Would you? I have a regular viewer who's suggesting to us that he's posing a question. Wouldn't it be that the greatest honor for Reverend Sobhita Thero would be to move all dishonest members of the cabinet out and keep them out?
Well, prove there is the justice of court. If you do a murder, even, there is a thing you call suspect. You are called not a murderer till it is proved. So we don't know.
So until it's proved.
Until.
Yeah.
So you see, now the president has summoned today and the prime minister is very firm. You see, so I don't know the decision there, but we have to get rid of corruption from top to the bottom, not from bottom to the top.
Can I quickly ask you, as a veteran parliamentarian, how do I describe an attorney at law who ends up in Parliament, who's a member of Parliament? How do I describe him? Do I describe him as a politician? Would I be correct?
When you become a member of Parliament, he's a member of politician.
Right. And then, why is it that Mr. Marapan is saying in Parliament that he's not a politician?
No.
That poses a question for which I have not had an answer yet. But on that note, I must thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for your presence. We look forward to having you again. And Mr. Risipala, thank you very much for your efforts and for being here. And Banada, thank you too. And I thought we'll just have this little thought for the day. We are all here for some special reason. Do not become a prisoner of your past, but become the architect of your future. That's thanks to Robin Sharma. On that note, I'll wish you a very good day. Take care.